All right. Well, what's going on, everybody? It's your girl Pam with 2200 Taps. All right. So here's the thing. My last guest was phenomenal. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. Sam with she's a let me start over. Shit, I wasn't even ready for that. Sam Horowitz. Horowitz. I never usually have to do that. Fuck it. All right, let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Pam with 2200 Taps. Hey, listen, man, I've got incredible guests every single time. I take a while getting people on because I want to make sure that our guests that come in are ready to share. This stuff's not easy. And we want the guys that are ready to share and the gals because you guys need to hear it. And there's a lot of hope in all these stories. So, with that, our next guest is a cool dude, man. I was actually a guest on their show, Veteran Chat Project. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. They're good shit. Yep. I see you. I see you. I got Kyle Turner on. He is a co-founder of Veteran Chat Project, and he's another brother in arms. And he'll share his story here in a minute. But their mission is very similar to ours, which is giving people a really safe place to just share their shit. Again, it's not a Jerry Springer kind of environment. He said, she said stuff because that just gets crazy. But it is a truly safe place to share stories, stories of hope, stories of things that people otherwise wouldn't share, uh, maybe on the spot if you ask them, right? So, Kyle, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you. Basically, as soon as I was like, let's do another episode, you're like, me first. And I'm like, oh, let's do it right now. All right, let's do it. So
I
no, I
need
appreciate that.
content.
And yeah, I mean, as soon as I came back into the space of doing podcasts again, obviously you were one of the first people I wanted to hit up. You and shout out to Eddie Lowry. I'll have to get him going again. He's still doing his show and yeah, it's been a while since I've been doing this stuff, but I've still been trying to be more active in the veteran space, or at least talking to people more, or um, in person, I
Yeah.
guess. But it's hard.
Well, well, welcome back. And I got to say, you came out swinging. You came out swinging for the fences, and you hit a grand slam with your latest guest, Randy Nance,
Yeah,
he's my ATF brother, man. And when that dude talks, you listen.
absolutely.
Uh, how was that having him on your show?
It was good, man. It was eye-opening. It's like one of those ones like where I tell people, I'm not super chatty. You might not know this since I have a podcast and I have this, but like in person, I'm more or less like shut off unless you kind of know me situation. I have a smaller friend group, but I tell someone I'm like, hey, I do this podcast, and now I can say like to add to the list of like you said, like just absolute rock star guests that I've had on there, like from everywhere from just like, and then I mean this in the most respectful way, like the guy next door that you just haven't heard his army story yet, to all the way up to a guy like Randy who literally had his ass blown off and was
Hmm.
joking about it on the way to getting it, fixed, patched up, and but his life saved. And like stuff like that you hear about, and they try to make that stuff up on movies as much as they can, but like when you hear it out of the mouth of somebody who actually not only went through but survived something like that. I mean, it's truly inspirational. Like I get the chills thinking about just like the fact that I get to exist in this sort of environment, like still having, you know what I mean, like not being that I would say, because he's completely abled, so I don't even want to say disabled. Like even just wanting to say that out loud, I was like, no, because that's not what they're about.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And I love it. I love it when I tell people that too, so yeah, like having him on there and being able to be like, this is the first episode. I edited it down from, it was, I think, from October. So it had been a while even since like I recorded it. I mean, went through some, I would say, I guess, seasonal depression up here in North Dakota. I don't know if you know this or not, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not Texas and it is very cold.
Yeah. No, I get,
So like
yeah.
I hide from the sun, and the sun doesn't exist for 6 months out of the year, and it gets the winters get long, but that's kind of when I try to lean in and do more stuff. So really thought about it, really kind of want to jump into it, feet first, and see how many people I can kind of help out. That's really what it's all about, connecting people, like you said, letting them know that they're not alone. That's our biggest mission. It's one of the things I like to say almost every post I make. You're not alone. There's people that you would never even think of that
Hmm.
join the military, live that life, and put it away and never talk about it. And then, even just being in that space and telling somebody in person, like I have my chiropractor, he's a Marine veteran, and he was in Mogadishu, right? So after Black Hawk
Damn.
Down, the Marines that went back for recon, or
Hmm.
I'm sorry, not recon, but like for
Video game.
reinforcements, he was like he's like, I was a Marine private, during that time. And I swear to God, I'm going to get him on here because this is one of the most, but he won't, like, he's like, I don't know about the interviews and stuff, but I'm like, I'm going to get you. But I'll go into the chiropractor's office and my chiropractor's, 30 minutes, but I'm in there for an hour because we're just
Yeah.
chatting,
That Yeah, that's crazy. The Battle of Mogadishu. I didn't put two and two together until we had an athlete come through a few not long ago through the Adaptive Training Foundation who's I want to say his supervisors, they were there when it happened. And we did a workout to honor them, the 1 mile that they had to actually freaking run.
like hoof it back. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to go get the guys and then come back all on foot for a mile. And so we did a workout in honor of that. Problem is, I'd love to get him on my show, but he's very still like, don't show me, don't show anything on me, don't and you, sometimes you got to do that. These guys don't want to
I
be
feel
seen,
like
and you got to kind of honor that.
absolutely.
Um, so it's funny that you bring that up. Yeah, that's a crazy wild ass time. But
You
to be
know,
able to
it's
talk to people like that, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then it's funny is like the first
Mm,
time I even went into his office and laid on his table, he was like, "So what? What do you do?" And I was like, "Actually, like another funny. We had already been chatting a little bit.
mm,
He told me how like he had his office is full of like trinkets and like little knickknacks, like stuff like this. Oh, I guess you can't
mm,
see. Like stuff like soldiers would give him. This is a
hmm.
tank round. This is a base of a tank round, by the way.
That's awesome.
Um, but like stuff, like soldiers would give him for, I mean, he's really good. He diagnosed a problem I've been dealing with for years that has gone undiagnosed.
Wow.
And it wasn't even his job. He looked at an x-ray from 5 years ago and was like, you got a bulging disc. We should get an MRI on that. And like, boom, there it is. Oh, that's why your sciatic nerve's been hurting for 12
Huh.
years. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Thanks,
thanks.
GA. Right.
Thanks. Yeah. That's
Um,
another story.
but like, yeah, no shit. How long you got? No, but like like little coins or whatever, and he
Yeah.
had this all in
Little
his office.
trinkets.
But like the last administration or whatever, told him that they're not allowed to have that kind of personal stuff up,
What?
and he's going through like a giant, I guess we'll say, legal battle with the government
Oh
over like
God.
being able to have that. And I think now, I don't know what. I think he's like getting traction on it, but like he's fighting really hard just to be able to display it because he's like, it means a lot to him that he has these connections.
Yeah.
Like he has them in real life from hundreds and hundreds of soldiers over his time of being a chiropractor that he's helped. Not only done his job, but been
Mm-hmm.
such an impact that they're like, dude, I want to give you this
Mm-hmm.
coin. I know I'm holding a cat toy right now, but I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
hold
yeah. No, I got you.
on.
Damn.
But and then he had to take it down, and I'm like, that's crazy. But then I tell him, oh well, I do a podcast where I talk to veterans about what they do, and I'll just go ahead and say it now. So for those that don't know, Veteran Chat Project
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
was founded initially when a friend of mine and our former co-host KZ, guy that we served with, committed suicide. Wasn't the first, and probably wasn't, won't be the last, unfortunately. But our job now, or our mission, my mission, KZ is taking some time off. So my mission now is to reach as many people as I possibly can and let them know that there are people around them that care, that know what they're going through, that when you absolutely feel like there's nobody in the world that gives a flying fuck, there's one, and then that one person is me. Like I care about every single person that's ever come on my show. I'm friends with 90% of them still on Facebook, if they have Facebook or whatever. I mean, these people I have in my phones, I like, they're family to me because you come on, you share a part of your story. Like, I don't know, we're now bonded. Like we went through that together. That's how I
Hmm.
feel it. And, when I told him basically that, he's just like, that's pretty cool, and then he started telling me about, Mogadishu, and he's telling me
Hmm. Some
he's
crazy
not a
stuff.
sugarcoater. So
Mm.
he's a Marine. This guy is a Marine, so he's not a sugarcoater.
They like colorful language.
Yeah. He like you could tell he's not bullshitting either, and he's
Hmm.
like just telling me like it was pretty tough, and he's like I still have, a lot of issues from it, and he's like my
Yeah.
wife, and it's important here to note that he has a support system. I'd be probably nowhere without mine. I know me and my wife go through it all the time and back and forth like good husbands and wives do, but end of the day, I wouldn't be anywhere without mine. And he's the same way. And it seems to be the case is just as long as you find your tribe, your support system, that's just where we try to aim people, let them know, hey, you're not alone. We
Hmm.
do care. And I think there's even been a case where I had two guests who I've actually never met because I had a mix of people who I served with because we had to start somewhere. Hey, I need you. I need you.
Hmm.
I need you. I need you. And they're like, okay, bet.
Yep.
And then it got bigger, and we got people that wanted to tell our story. So like two guys in a completely different state that I've never met before wind up at a bar together, and they messaged me like, bro, we're at the bar together, and I'm like, that is fucking so cool,
That's
and
so cool.
I, 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 I don't know, it's just like it it's so easy to be negative, and like I'm guilty of this for most of my life, and seeing like the effects of that, it's so easy to do, it's like it's harder to be like on the right path, so to speak, to like trying to help people
Right.
because you have to look inward, and that's I think been the hardest struggle for me since I started this whole thing is like if I say something on this on like on in this platform, I don't want to be a fucking liar. That's one thing like I pride myself in being is like if I tell you something, I'm gonna do it. If I can't do it after that, I'm gonna tell you why I can't do it, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say like, hey, let's figure something out. Like I don't know, and adapt and overcome. Right? That's what they teach us, and it's hard. It's hard to be in the civilian life with that mentality because a lot of people don't have it around you.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And then
It's
they're
frustrating.
threatened. They're threatened by you because like you work hard, you listen to a supervisor, you don't, I'm like, they're like, this supervisor's mean. I'm like, well, you
Hmm.
haven't worked for this dude
Hmm.
who like you can't say anything to. Like, dude, I'm in a union right now. Like, you could say whatever you want. Like, within reason, you're
Right.
allowed to speak your mind. You know what I mean? Like, you can be tactful. You could say your part, which I do. Like, hey, I'm not going to do that because I'm going on break. But hey, you can call my union rep. But anyway, um,
No, I get
so
that.
yeah, it's
I
hard.
get
To,
that.
it's hard, and then I think that's where people get like just like I'm so alone. You know.
Yeah, no, you're hitting everything, and we're gonna get right into it.
Yeah,
I was gonna do something real quick before we started, but we
yeah,
can we
let's
can
do
hit
it.
that in a minute.
We do whatever.
Um, I think that's a big part of the transition issues that we have. Like, how long did you serve for?
So I only did 4 years, and I say only, but it was a pretty, I'd say, pretty action-packed 4 years. So I was 19 kilo in the Army, which for those that don't know is M1 armor crewman. So I was a tank at the you go in driver whatever. I was a tanker, 19 kilo. Either way, we go OSET 19, 8 was it 18 weeks, whatever, basic training.
Mm,
So I went to Fort Knox in 2008, August
okay.
2, I'm sorry, May 2008. I graduated in August 2008. Report to my unit in uh, September. So it was like end of August. So I reported it in September after like your leave after basic or
Hmm.
whatever. And then third ACR, which is a unit I was in, third Armored Cab out of Fort Hood, Texas, which is now what, Fort
I thought
Cavazos
they were
or
going
something.
back to it. I could
I
be
don't know. I
wrong.
don't pay attention anymore. I'm
Either way,
sorry.
you survived. Fort
Either
Hood
way,
is
I'll
like,
always call it Fort Hood, the great place. But
yeah, that's what I hear.
yeah, I was there when that Major Hassan shot that place up, man. We were on crisis reaction brigade, so that was when I was between my two deployments. But I'll get to that timeline in a second. So it
Yeah.
was. basic training 2000. I got out into August 2008. I'm out of basic training. I'm in Fort Hood, freshly married. Um, my unit's deployed, so rear detachment. And then they're like, "Hey, we're sending two more flights, and then the unit's going to start coming home in like 3 or 4 months." Like, they triple home, big unit. Who wants to go? Me and like three of my buddies that I went to basic with, all like I put my hand up. I'm like, "Oh, for sure," like sign me up to go to Iraq. By the way, like our units in Mosul, Iraq. Who wants to go? Like, we're taking volunteers. Roger. Yeah, I want to go. Three of my buddies did too, so we all wind up together. Two of us were in the same platoon, or I'm sorry, in the same company, which was pretty cool. So we caught the tail end of that deployment, got home. I don't know. I think I did like 6 or 7 months there because we wound up on the wash rack in Kuwait, the Kuwait Naval Base in the Persian Gulf, I believe. So we were there as the first time I'd seen the ocean in my life, and it was only for
Oh
about
God.
this long every day. And we were like, and then it was like, oh, like straight to the wash rack, standing underneath fucking Connexes, spraying all the Iraq dirt off everything. I mean, like
Jesus.
you kind of figured we were gonna get that shit detail because those guys been there. And at that time, I don't know if you look up Mosul, Iraq in 2008, it was fucking hot. And the dudes that we rolled with, the dudes I met were some heavy hitters, like these guys, they took on a role that was above and beyond what was expected of them as tankers. You think like, oh, they just sit in that tank and they're in that tank and that's it. Um, in this specific situation, I mean, we did three, like it was like a rotational of missions, like a three schedule, like A, B, and C schedule, like
Mhm.
3 days you're doing this, and this. So like 3 days of missions, 2 a day missions off the base, 3 days of Overwatch where you're sitting in the tank for 12 hours at a time, literally sitting there watching, scanning a position, and then 3 hours of off this base, or 3 days off this base that's like off base, like a cop, like a little tiny little place. And that was like our weekly grind, like our 9 day rotation, basically. Um,
For what, 6 months you had to do that
Yeah,
ish?
like yeah, for like I did have I guess yeah, 5.5 months, and then it was about a month and a half in Kuwait Naval Base spraying Connexes every day, just like when are we leaving? Like, oh, there's still this many pieces. Like,
Jesus.
but anyways, got to see the ocean. So that was cool, I guess, right? If you're looking on the bright side of it.
So
Um,
how many tours did you end up doing?
I did too. So we came back, stayed with third ACR. We basically like we were already tracking that we were getting deployed in a year. So like it
Mhm.
was come home, get leave, train, 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 train,
Okay.
take leave, and go back. And then that was a full 12-monther. That was Operation New Dawn at the time, or is what
Mm,
it's called, Operation New Dawn. So first deployment OIF 0709, second deployment Operation New Dawn. We were advise and assist, and that was in Al Qut, Al Kut, Al Kut. I can't remember how they said it. Iraq. And that one was it was weird because like we didn't have the same rules of engagement that existed before. So like everybody that so I was in this weird space of like new guy when I got to this unit, and like some of the guys left, some of the guys stayed. So I was like this, E4 kind of in the middle of like new guys and old guard of our company. So like these guys are like, oh man, this isn't how it was last deployment kind of shit. Like what are we supposed to do? Not what are we supposed to do, but like let's say rules of engagement were like this guy's got a gun, he shoots at you, he's the bad guy, right? Too easy. Second deployment, this guy's got a gun, he shoots at you. You point your gun at him, he goes with his gun. I don't have a gun. Now he's not now he's legitimately not a problem. We're not supposed to get out. We're not supposed to go like get his gun. We're not supposed to do any of these things because, we're here to advise and assist them. We're here
right.
for their hearts. We're here for their minds. So that
Hmm.
was that was, left a really kind of weird taste across everybody's mouth at that time. Like I won't speak for, everybody, the whole military, but I mean it left it was a weird feeling like it went from like being hard charging army to being like, what are we fucking really doing here? Like I spent more time training in Iraq for Iraq than we did to deploy. Like we were doing miles training. I don't know if you know what that is. Basically playing laser tag, where you put
No.
like the blank firing adapters in your M4s, and they put like blank rounds with
Hmm.
like a you wear like a harness, and it's got like a beep. You're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Hmm.
Like drove like
Jesus.
drove across the country to shoot tanks at a base that was middle of nowhere, Bessamaya. It was like a brickyard, like so it smelled like just pure shit all the time from
Yeah.
this brick factory. But
So, so you have two deployments on your belt.
yeah,
Um,
then I pissed hot on my drug test. Point blank period. I was exceptional soldier, had all the right things going. Never did anything wrong that they know of. Um,
hmm,
and went on leave after the second deployment, took a piss, or I'm sorry, took a couple of those while I was on leave, but
yeah, I hope so.
smoked a little pot. I'm guilty. I did it.
Yeah.
I inhaled. Some of you might not get that joke. Um, but and I came back and we took our piss test, and honestly, like I thought I was gonna be clean. I was like, no big deal, pissed. And like 2 weeks later, my commander calls me. He's like, "Hey, Turner, you need to come in. You failed your drug test." Or, like, fuck. They're on a zero tolerance policy. It's a new unit. It's no longer 3rd ACR. It's now 3rd Cavalry Regiment. And they're strictly cavalry. And I don't know if you know this, but armor and cavalry, since they're 19 series, so there's 19 deltas, which is the cavalry scouts, 19 kilos, which are the tankers. We get to wear tanker boots. The scouts don't like that. They got Bradleys. We got tanks. Bradleys are little baby tanks. Like there's a whole thing. Whatever. Anyways, I show up this brand new scout, so I've never met the sergeant major at the time. Guarantee you, if it was the sergeant major that I served with or the one before, like either of the two I had before that, he would have punished me to the full extent, made me feel it, and let me continue. And he would have been like, "I'm proud of you for taking this on the chin." What they wanted me to make excuses. Like, what do you have to say for yourself? Sergeant major, I have nothing to say for myself except for, I did it. You know what I mean? Like I fucked up. I'm here. I'm standing here. I'm not running from it. Let's handle like what's the hearing gonna be? He's like, we're gonna put you on extra duty, 45 days, gonna cut your pay, and we're gonna give you general under honorable conditions. So on my DD 214, it actually says drug abuse. I know I can get it changed, but it's kind of one of those things where, uh, like fuck you.
Mm.
I'll still smoke a little pot, and I could change that label, like because I honestly like to this day, like the dude probably kicked me out and went home and got drunk and kicked the shit out of his dog or wife. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
That's the shitty part. I'm gonna stop you right there. That is the shitty part. Like, you want a zero tolerance on, popping hot for what? A little bit of weed? When you got a shit ton of people who are alcoholics and you're giving them weapons, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like, God, they'd rather kick you out for not being fit for duty. That's
and
mental health.
and I'm talking, dude, 2 nanograms. I don't know if you know how they measure THC
No,
in
I
urine, but
don't.
it's 15 nanograms is the allotted or is or was the allotted limit at the time that you could have in your like I could have had up to 15 nanograms of THC. You know how many I had?
Mm-mm.
17. I had 17 nanograms of THC in my urine. And I went from being, I'm talking like, not like, oh my God, he's a stellar soldier. I wasn't great at PT, but like I listened well. I feel like I did a good job. I did bitch quite a bit. I know that now. If anybody am I served with, I hope you hear this. I bitched quite a bit. I
He's
get
owning
the
it.
fact that I was right, but hearing it over and over again doesn't make it better. I get it. All right. I fucking get it now. But
So, well, let me ask you this, because here's the thing. You didn't get out on your own terms.
no.
So what did that do to you?
Well, you throw in the mix of a sketchy marriage throughout that whole time frame, ended about a month prior to that phone call.
Oh.
My wife at the time and I were divorced. I was, already kind of spending half my paycheck in 2 different states. couldn't afford the apartment I was in, wound up getting under on my truck. I mean, if I if anybody ever felt more alone in the world at that time, it was me. Like, and if there was a textbook time for someone to eat a bullet and call it a day, like that, check Turner out, he's done for, you know. In those 3 or 4 years, even after I got out of the army, people were probably just like waiting, like, when's this dude gonna kick it? When's, you know what I mean? But like, no one wanted to check on me. And then I don't know, I guess that's where it kind of like that feeling comes from of like be the change you want to see kind of shit. Or I don't know, like I had a platoon sergeant that was like, "Oh, Turner, you're my dude, you're my dude." But as soon as I like started questioning anything he would do, which was like very wrong in my opinion, I have a strong belief of what's wrong and right, and I don't
Yeah.
have a problem telling people, even if you're an E7 and I'm an E4. But that's neither here nor there. Um, and I forgot where I was going with that.
No, I was just talking about how what that did to you when you got out, not on your own terms.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it was tough because I mean, you want to take the positive. You want to say like, well, it's a new opportunity, like God gave me a second chance, right? That's what you're supposed to think. That's what they want you to believe. The positive speakers at the time, because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be listening to me at that time. It was all like, fuck the army, they did fuck up. They didn't need to boot me. I was full well ready to take my extra duty and all that shit. I was not expecting them to kick me out. But I mean, yeah, I felt betrayed, felt lost. I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna go. Like, do I go back home? I had just re-enlisted. I thought I was going to Korea with like one of my best friends. Like still to this day, like when he's in the army still, and I'm still like every time I talk to him, I'm just like, fuck, like what could have been? We were going back to basic training to go be Cav Scouts, and then like as E4s, we were gonna have it made and then go to Korea. And I was gonna be single in Korea. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then travel the world. That's what was my plan. Like whatever job I got to get after this to get me around the world was what I wanted to do. Um, but things happen, I guess. I went home. I did what good drug abusers do and abused some drugs and did some drinking, did some partying, nothing like crazy, crazy, but I mean, definitely could have got very far into it. And especially nowadays with, fentanyl being in pretty much fucking everything, that shit could have got out of hand easy. Uh, and just, I think it was like one day, like fucking, like when you're sleeping and you're like been drinking. I don't know if you ever been through just a solid drinking binge.
mhm.
But like, you're like hungover and you're just like, and the TV's just so loud. You're like, someone turn that fucking TV off. No, I live by myself, by the way. So I was saying that out loud to myself. Like, someone turn the TV off. And then I look at it and it's like a fucking culinary school
Mm.
commercial for Le Cordon Bleu in St. Louis. So I'm like, just watching it. It's on like repeat, like 2 in the morning. It's on,
Mm.
infomercial channel or whatever the fuck. I'm like, maybe I'll give him a call in the morning. I woke up, called him. The recruiter called me back. I went in there. Like, you guys accept the GI Bill? They're like, yep. And we give you they're like, we give you a full knife set, chef uniforms, everything. I was like,
Say no
sign me up.
more.
Yeah. And I get a
Say
full
no more.
paycheck to come here. I was like, and I don't have to go to work. Like, I can go to work and come here and make two paychecks. They're like, yeah. I'm like, fucking send it. So I signed up. I went that shit. I mean, I did cook before. Never did anything like professional. So I just really wanted to more or less get out of the house and kind of like get my foot in a direction forward. I think I took some mushrooms about 2 or 3 days before that time, and I don't know, it's just everything was just telling me like you're fucking up, like looking back on it now, like like universe tell like I fully go where the universe tells me to go. Like I look for
Yeah.
signs in the world. I listen to my belly, like I have pretty good intuition on the world, and I mean I feel like it's turned into a pretty good situation. Like thinking about
So,
like, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask, did you ever hit rock bottom? And if so, what did that look like? What did your rock bottom look like?
I'd say my rock bottom. my worst, most embarrassing moment, and I don't even think I've even said this out loud. I was at my cousin's wedding in St. Louis, and nice fancy wedding, lots of people, open bar.
Mm,
Open bar, dude. You know what I mean? Like Farva,
mm,
fucking open bar, dude.
mhm,
Open fucking bar. Popped a couple pills. I don't even know what they were. Popped a couple pills before I went in. Started drinking, feeling good. You having fun. Hey, we're going out after this. Cool. I tell my dad, hey, don't worry about it. You drive home. This is his brother's kid, by the way, who my dad and my brother have never got along. So it's like family beef
mm,
on top of me being like, and they're like super like Christian, you know what I
mm,
mean? Like very Christian.
mm,
About the time we were getting ready to leave, all I remember is like trying to like talk to my uncle, and I was just like, fuck you, like you don't fucking love my dad and you think you're better than us. And I truly believe that, and God rest his soul, he's no longer with us, but I think that's the last time I ever spoke to him. And I pretty much soon after that, the pills and the alcohol hit their mix, and I just basically collapsed and knocked over like a plant, and was just like, that guy, like fucking that guy. I just remember before I went to sleep, I fucking smashed my phone. Was just like, you piece of shit. Like what were you possibly thinking to go and not only to just to do that to your cousin's wedding? Like I don't think, he'll probably never say it because he's too nice to say it, but I don't think he'll ever forgive me for that.
you don't know
I
that.
mean, we don't even talk anyways, just because like the family difference, but
Well,
it'll always be like, oh, hey, how's it going? But
can I ask you a hard question?
yeah,
Like open? Well, have you forgiven yourself for that?
no.
Okay.
I mean, I want to, but like I did it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like you do things that you don't forgive. I guess you could forgive, but you don't forget. But at the same time, like those aren't necessary. Like those are technically kind of the same things. So like I'll never forget that that happened.
And
Um,
you don't have to. You don't have to by any means. That's what makes us better people. But it's about knowing that you don't have to serve a life sentence either.
well, I know.
You
I mean,
know?
I think I know that, but like I also like to like I don't know, like I can look at it. Like if I
Yeah.
let go of it, then I can't look at it and see how far I've come when I get frustrated in the now. If that makes sense. I don't know. Like,
It it does, but there's also like hindsight. There's also that other side of it too, right? Like I fucking like when I got out, I took 5 shots of Crown, I dug a fork in my hand, and I took a knife to my uniform, all in front of my best friend. And I've forgiven myself for it, 100%. I had the choice. It was a choice, but I still have the scar on my hand. So when I see it, I'm like, I remember that, But it doesn't have to own me either. Like, yeah, it hurts, but it's not like that's not who we are. We fucked up. We
mhm.
royally fucked up. I mean, that's pretty intense, getting as inebriated as he did, or as me falling off the handle the way I did and
Yeah, I
scaring
mean, I
people
know
the
like
hell out
it
of
might
me.
not sound like as bad, it doesn't sound like, dude,
No, that's
to
pretty
me,
bad.
like that's pretty
That's pretty
bad.
bad. That's
And then
pretty
I try to
bad.
downplay, like maybe it's not so bad. And like, fucking, that's pretty bad, dude.
That's
Like,
pretty bad. But like I said, it's not a life sentence. It's all it teaches us something. That's all. Um, you're a good man. That doesn't define who you are. That's all I'm saying.
appreciate that.
And I mean that, of
Thank you.
course.
It's nice to
That,
hear.
yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we just need to hear it, man. We got to say it and we got to hear it, and I mean it. So,
You're good people. You're a good
well,
woman,
thank you.
good lady.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I accept it just as much, man. I mean, it takes special people to do what we do. It really does. This is not
Honestly, I think
easy.
it takes people who've been through trauma, who've been through pain, that
Mhm.
understand that like pain is glue. I think remember what it was. I think it was like Shia LaBeouf and John Bernthal's episode of Real Ones, where he's like, pain's an adhesive. You go through pain, you can spot somebody who's been through or is in pain, and you're just like, hey, like, I know what it's like. You don't have to be, just like you said, like it's not a life sentence. You can choose right now to stop, you know, living in pain over this thing. Um, or you can choose to let it, you know, build your fire, let it,
Let
whatever
it
you
own
want to
you,
do.
yeah.
But like it's like Rocky said, you gotta harness that. You gotta find what it is. And I don't know if he said that. I don't know. I had a Rocky conversation
We'll
at
just
work
say it's
today, but
Rocky.
yeah,
We'll just
Rocky
say it's
said that
Rocky,
too. But
yeah.
well, like you just gotta harness their shit deep down, and like fucking do it.
You just
Like,
got to do it. At the end of the day, like you said, it's a choice.
yeah.
It's a choice. And what we've learned, especially like Randy, Randy is that dude is like my brother. And I want to let the guys know ATF it's not the bad ATF, it's a good ATF. It's the Adaptive Training Foundation. So when I said ATF Randy, I don't want y'all to think he's affiliated with it. Um, it's our tribe. It's our tribe. And when Randy speaks, you listen. At least I do. Dude's got
That's why I
some
love that word. I know
he's
I
got some
use that
wisdom,
word like
dude.
tribe, man. Tribe's gotta be like
You have to,
tribe.
dude.
Find your tribe. That's
So you know you're not
that's
alone.
the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you pull yourself out of that? How
Uh,
like what was the turning point and you're like, you know what?
I think it was that
I want
mushroom
something
trip.
different. The
Mushrooms.
mushroom trip?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done mushrooms before, but like it fucking helps.
Well, I mean, I've never done. I'm kind of scared to do them. I have some mushrooms, like the microdosing, but
No,
I
like
also
you
have
need to do a good like have like two or three people that you trust over at your house where you feel safe and
to
take
watch you.
take like no like take it. They gotta take them too. You can't. You say like
Oh
nobody
my
comes
God.
over because you're gonna feel I don't know it's a vibe
Psychedelics.
thing. You'll be
It's
like you're
psychedelics.
judging me because you don't feel what I feel right now kind of situation.
Uh,
So like and then it'll turn you inside to that like I don't know if I like this, but like
mm,
I don't know. You can be like three people in the same room and I could lay on the floor. And this is the fucking wildest shit. I can lay on the floor and if we're all tripping hard enough, and this is all right, you're making this shit up in your brain, right? You're not actually feeling or seeing any of this shit. And it's not hallucinations, it's not acid, it's not like people tell you, but like things get wiggly, like things are just like this cup is like, man, that cup is fucking cool. Like, dude, and
I
you'll
already
just be
do that
like,
with edibles. What are you talking about?
no, but like you will sit and debate why this
Oh
specific cup,
man.
not like this kind of cup, but like the fact
Oh
that
my
this cup
God.
came into your life today. I had a whole thing about windows and mirrors and how people look through windows and look at mirrors and only
Oh,
see through them, but they talk to each other when they're not around.
oh my
So, yeah.
God.
So
So
the windows and mirrors, they want you to see them, not just yourselves. Anyways, but you could push vibes through the floor at each other. It's fucking crazy. It's like force
so
pushing.
so for my listeners, I will say this. I am a huge advocate for psychedelics. I love it.
As long as you do it controlled and with
Do
people
it
you trust.
exactly. I was just gonna say that. Make sure it's controlled with people you trust. And disclaimer, I'm not encouraging you to do it. So if you do it
Nope.
and something happens to you, that's on your ass.
Right. Not
I will say, however, when done correctly and with people like Kyle said that you trust, it can be something really special. Um,
grind that shit up, put it on a peanut butter sandwich, eat it. You'll be good. 30, 45 minutes later, you'll be like, what the fuck is so funny? All of a sudden you're just like a noise. Somebody will make like a and you're just like like it's the funniest thing
you're
you've ever like you'll be
so
shitting yourself laughing. Like not
oh my
actually, but
God.
yeah, you'll like I've never laughed so hard. The next day your whole jaw is hurting.
Oh my God. So before we get on a tangent, we're gonna go off the rails so fast.
Yeah.
So
Another
your
episode. I'll have
mush
to come back.
right. Your mushroom trip. What was it about that helped you kind of get your shit together?
I don't know. I think it was just like I said, like I like a cup or like the windows. I think this one is, if I can remember specifically, was about the hotel room I was in and like a roof and how like a roof is just there. Like no one thanks the roof for being there. I'm like, well, fucking no one cares if I'm here, and I was like, so I was like they're not like here as the global like royal here, but like in the location that I was
Mhm.
currently living. Like, and then it might not be true. I might have a lot of love back there, but like at the time, it just like everything in that trip was saying like, you gotta don't be this roof, basically. Like, don't be you're not stuck here like this roof is. Just
Hmm.
being sad for yourself. I
I
think
like
is what
that.
it came down to.
I like that.
Um, then some opportunities came through culinary school. After I finished everything, I wound up with a associate's degree in culinary arts, well, applied science, culinary arts.
Nice.
Then got a job in Colorado and was like, fucking see ya. So for the second time in like 4 years, I loaded up a car full of my, whatever I could fit in it and was off to a like now this time like a new state. Like the army, like you had the army, right? You had that support, you had like wherever you needed, like you had someone to ask, right? Like I get to this new job and I got like one person, wasn't the greatest person by the way, but he you know, I'm like, I don't know anybody, so I had to like I wind up getting a room on Craigslist. Randomly though, the dude was a tanker in the Marine Corps, so like me and him hit it off right off the bat. That dude was cool as fuck. I lived there for a couple months till I got my own place.
Nice.
Lived there for a while and then met my wife in Colorado. Actually, my wife now, I met her in Colorado. I want to say I moved there in 2015, and then I want to say 2015, yeah. And then I met my wife in like 2017 or 18. She's gonna kill me, but one of those two. We met on Bumble.
Bumble.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't
Get you
weird.
get Bumble.
Get Bumble. No, I ain't doing Bumble. The thought of
Hey,
dating
but
online's weird. It still
Hey,
isn't to
but
me.
Bumble's the one, I guess, that you don't gotta send you don't gotta talk to them if you don't want to. You have
Mm.
the power. They can't just randomly send you a picture of their wiener.
Oh my
Like
God.
you gotta connect
I'd
first, and then
prefer not.
she's gotta look at your profile and be like, is this
So
dude
the
worth
girls
even?
have the
Yeah.
opportunity. Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
it's
We'll
like
go.
legit. You set up and like you can look at their profile. They can look at whatever you let them look at, and then like they can't even send you a message unless you say, "I want to talk to this person."
Got it.
So like from right off the bat, you're
Bumble.
given that power. And I say
Control.
power because in this day and age, and dudes, fucking listen to this shit. It is power. You guys need to leave fucking like stop being weird on the phones and shit. It's fucking
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Just stop being weird
just
altogether.
stop being fucking
Stop being
weird. Like,
weird.
I don't know. It's a fucked up world enough. Like, stop being weird to people. I don't
Well,
know.
so let's fast forward. You meet your wife. You have two beautiful babies,
Yeah.
kids, really, because one of them's not so much a baby, but you got
Yeah.
two beautiful babies.
Babies.
And how has that helped mold you into the man that you are right now?
Oh man, the first one was a big, big, huge lesson learned. Like teacher Griffin, he taught me that. I mean, like I had a dog, right? Everyone says that, like I've had dogs before, and like and I'll tell you right now, like I still have dogs and I love my dogs as much as I love my kids. So like there are people that I still will believe when they say like, well, I have dogs, I know what it's like if you really know what it's like, you might have a taste of it, you might be ready for kids, but at the end of the day, like that shit's gonna test every fucking bit what you got at any given point in your life. And be honest, like I don't have much like in the patience department to give. And you know what I mean? Like, so
Oh
I
man.
have to, you know what I mean? Because like I don't want, um, I love my dad to death, but like my dad
Mhm.
wasn't a patient man growing up, wasn't, you know, quick to teach me how to communicate. Like, if I see my son struggling, how to tell me something, or if he's like struggling with his emotions or something like that. Like now that I'm aware of my emotions and present, I don't drink alcohol. I'm not out partying. I'm 38 years old. I'm here every night. I pick my kids up from daycare every day. Well, whenever my wife's not at work, you know what I mean? Like I am fucking dad. Like, and I love it, but
Can you hang on one
it's,
second?
yeah.
I need to pause. I'm right there with you. Hang on one second. Hang on. Sorry. Shit.
That's all right.
Are you there?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
Are you good?
So I have this thing. Let me 46 minutes in. I didn't want to stop you. Like that was a good moment. But I just have this thing, kind of like why we're talking, right? When my best friend calls, like no matter what, I'm
Oh
answering.
yeah. I
Um,
that's good,
just just
That's
because
tribe shit.
that's tried, but it's also like between her background and I know like her struggles and then, what we do and losing people, like I think I've put it on myself. Like I don't want to be that person that misses a phone call and maybe she needed something at
Right.
that moment.
Right.
Like I feel, especially with her, like I will drop anything and everything to just pick it up, And that's something I put on myself because I love her to death. She's my best friend. And
Yeah.
that's just like what we do. But
That's rare.
anyhow, I'll call her
Rare to
here
find.
yeah, I'll call her here in a little bit. I feel like we're already kind of wrapping up a little bit, which is good. Um, but yeah, I just want to piggyback off of that. Like I saw you kind of like not getting emotional, but I saw it in your eyes as soon as you started talking about your son and and your boys, just being like the dad that you didn't have.
Yeah. I
That hit
mean,
something, man, and I don't know what it was, and I feel like maybe there's something there we can just talk through real quick to help somebody on the other end of whoever's listening.
yeah, I mean, I think something that really kind of helped me think and again, like I'm not, like you said earlier, like we don't point fingers, blame people. You know, things happen in life. My parents had kids early, so they were I think they were teenagers when they had my older brother, and they were 2021 when they had me. So like, I first try to think now. Well, I'll go with the quote that made me kind of really step back and think about it is like, you got to give them slack because it's their first time living too,
I like
right?
that.
But at the same time, my caveat to that is because I can argue myself to death.
Yeah.
So like my caveat to that is also like when you have fucking kids, your whatever the fuck else is going on in your life needs to stop. Doesn't matter. You like to party, so fucking what? Oh, you like to go out, so fucking what? Your kid fucking matters. Don't put your fucking phone down. Do all that. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm bad at it, but like I'm conscious of it. I'll be like, my kid will be like, "Daddy, let's play," and I'll fucking you like buy phone. Like let's. I got literally right here playing finger skateboards because I play finger skateboards with my kid now. Like I,
I
I
love
get to
that.
play with all my shit. I get to buy toys that I used to get. I get to do all this stuff again. And, like we had all the stuff. We, did all the things, but like my parents were preoccupied with wanting to kind of party. And there wasn't like, oh, and I would say a difficult child. Yeah, some ADHD and other kind of issues going on that still kind of deal with today. That's like a whole nother bag
For
of
sure.
worms,
Yeah, I got
which
you.
I'm actually still looking into because I do believe it has like some things with how I've gone about the world. So again, once you get into the space, you gotta start. You can't be the person talking about mental health and like not even be willing to look in your own.
Right.
But going back to the dad thing, like it's just I don't know, like hear myself do something like, oh, not right now, and then I'm just like, damn, it's something like my fucking dad said. In the exact tone. I hear it in my voice. Like that
Oh.
was, and you get exactly that's how I felt. And I'm like, not in a bad way. I love my dad, but like I would see him coming home from work, and I would get scared just because like I knew like I didn't do enough around the house.
Mm.
You've been here all day. You didn't do shit. Like, well, yeah, I'm fucking 10. It's summer. You know what I mean? Like I'm supposed to not do shit. I'm 10. But like, and then that's when I come in and be like, hey, what'd you do today? Nothing. All right, cool. Well, let's go outside and do, throw the ball. Let's do something then.
Be a
I'll
dad.
take you know what I mean? Like, not just like go outside and play. Well, I'm gonna go fucking sit down and take a nap because I've been at work all day. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't get to do that. Your kids come first. Like, I go to work at 4 o'clock every day in the morning, Monday through Friday. And I just started that this winter, but soon as summer hits, which we're rolling into soon, I'm gearing up my lawn care business for an expansion this year. Is my
Mm.
fourth year in business, and I'm going to be doing that. And I schedule everything based off when I could pick my kids up. all that shit. And then again, my dad was there. I mean, he did everything he could to be at all the games, all the sports, all the shit. But just the emotional support, I think, is what I always felt that I needed. And I think it would have helped me kind of handle things differently in my life had I been, I don't say taught, but had someone been more patient with me. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So
No,
I don't
it makes
know.
perfect sense. No,
Like I
no, thank you
want,
for saying that.
like I just don't want to. I see my kid like get frustrated and I'll like throw something. I'm like, fuck, he learned that from me. Like even as hard as I try, you can do 99.9% things right around your kids. They will notice the one wrong thing that you do.
Yeah.
They will notice that 0.01. You could say you could try to teach them 10 million words in one day, and they would only hear you say fuck from 40 yards away. And then they'll be like, fuck. And you're like, "Mm."
Shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. And then they're
damn.
like,
I
shit. And you're
mean,
like,
oh, never mind. Never mind. That's my
my wife's like, you're gonna get Griffin kicked out of daycare for calling someone a clown dick. And I'm like, well,
bad.
like, I don't
Sorry.
know. I'm sorry.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah.
Don't teach him how to spell it.
Yeah. So I
Oh
mean
my
it's just I don't
God.
know, like it's the only place that you can truly like make a change in the world is like how you raise your kids.
Kids. Yeah.
Because like I don't know, as cliche as it is to say, like they're the future, you know.
I get that. I mean, I'm not a parent.
What
I don't
future
get,
we have left.
yeah. I don't get it on the parent side. I get it on the like the breaking the cycle of family legacy, if you will, like repeating the pattern of chaos and having
I
to
think
break
that's
that
huge in
break
our
that cycle.
generation.
Yeah, I feel like people like you and me, like our generation, like we've had to learn to break the cycle, especially now with mental health and stuff, and people, like it's a thing. Breaking the cycle is good, and you know what? People like you and me, because we choose to do different, and we're choosing to break that cycle. We're gonna go through some shit. We're the ones that are making the choice to break it. And because of that, we're going to have all sorts of shit coming downhill so that we can protect our kids and the next generation so they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're that one that holds like the shield, and then you see like your kid or something back here, like that's our generation. If we have that opportunity. I think
For sure. But
you and I have
and
both
I
taken that.
oh sorry.
No,
I
go ahead.
also think that some people do take that too extreme as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a happy medium of shit that's I don't know, like you'd be like, oh, that builds character. Like, well, like I didn't need to learn that the hard way. You could
Mm-hmm.
have, well, I told you, like, well, obviously the way that you told me, I don't learn that way, right? So like people learn different ways.
Right.
There's three different kinds of ways that people learn, and that's just what we know of in books, right? There's like you learn visually, you learn by doing it with your hands, you learn by reading.
Mm-hmm.
That's the three ways that people learn. Like you can't just yell at me and I'm going to learn something. Sorry, can't just throw a book at me and you do it. But you got to do that shit in front of me. Then you got to stand over me while I do it, like they did in the military.
Yeah.
Crawl, walk, run. This is me breaking down an M9. Now
Yeah.
you stand here, break down this M9. That's wrong. That's wrong. Come on. Oh, that's wrong. And then you're like, oh, I got it right. And like, good job, Private. Now move your dumb ass to the back of
Mm-hmm.
the line. You're like, thank you, Sergeant. Like, okay, bro.
You know what else I feel like builds character is compassion.
It does. And it's such a different
Um,
character, too.
because I think about the kids at the gym, right? And these babies, literally since the day that they're born, or maybe they're just super young, little kids, they're around people that don't look like them, people that are missing arms, legs, in wheelchairs, and they don't look at them any differently because they don't look like them, because they're growing up in this environment. They learn compassion, they learn that they could still do the same thing that anybody else can do, and no one's forcing it on them like you better treat them right because they have an injury or disabled. And we don't even use the
Right.
word disabled at ATF, it's an
Right. That's why I said earlier, like I didn't
adaptability.
even I stopped myself from saying
Yeah.
like disabled about Randy. Like, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
not the word
It's just
to
adapting.
you.
But to your point, like you could have the parent that's the asshole or the parent that can be a parent and teach you right and wrong, but also have that compassion. And I think all that can be a hell of a lot healthier for a kid than being the dick. You know?
Yeah, and it's hard because
It's
obviously
hard.
I want to come in and like sometimes I'm like, I've gentle parented so long. I'm like, all right, dude, get in bed right now. No ice cream. No, you know what I mean? I'm
No,
like all
yeah,
tugging it out with my
you're just
3-year-old.
done.
Like, you ain't getting no Mickey Mouse. You ain't getting no ice
No
cream.
hot dog song tonight. Get
No
your ass
bubbles in
in.
your bathtub. Like, oh no, not my bubbles. Like,
Not my
yeah, that's right.
bubbles.
But
Easier,
you catch
yeah.
yourself saying some of the wildest shit too, like, hey, get that poop out of your mouth, like, or shit you never thought you'd say.
Yeah.
Like,
So, well, real
stop
quick,
playing with that all the time.
I'm
You're too
telling you,
young.
man. I got to tell you, I appreciate the mission of Veteran Chat Project. I feel like we mirror a lot of the same goals because we're tired of losing people.
Mm,
Suicide is not just a veteran issue; it's a human issue, and mental health. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah.
Um, Real quick, this is what I wanted to do earlier, but I'm glad we're kind of finishing up on this. You got your pen and paper ready? Yes. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna suck, but I want to get to a point on this. Okay. I'm gonna set the timer for 1 minute. Okay. I'll even put the little doo da song in here. I'll put it in post. I want you to think back because I was gonna do it, but I'm like, fuck it. Let me just do it with you because I think something kind of crazy can come out of this. For 1 minute, just put like a hash. Just start putting hash marks. Okay. How many people you know personally that have killed themselves? Okay. So when I hit start, we could probably go for 5 minutes easy, but I'm going to go for a minute. Okay. See, I put you on the spot because I wanted to put myself on the spot. But you tell me when you're ready. All you got to do is just put
Yeah.
a hash mark. Boom, 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 boom.
Ready.
All right. And go. Go for 1 minute. Well, this is harder than I thought.
Well, because I feel like I don't want to forget anybody.
I know.
And isn't that fucked up? Like, there's so many that you don't want to forget any.
Yeah. Let me. Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Got about 24 seconds. Hmm. I'm forgetting a lot of people.
Yeah, it's hard because you get stuck thinking about the one that you just put down as literally just a hash mark, and you're like, I'm
Hmm.
sorry, bro, you're not just a hash mark.
No, and time, and we're done. Time. That's it. Yeah. These guys are not just hash marks. They're just all right. How many did you get in a minute?
It's 6. I put a little harder on.
A little heart. I got 7 right there. So combined in 1 minute, 13 people that we personally know of. Dude, if that doesn't hit us between the eyes, I don't know what does.
Yeah,
And we don't even have everybody we know. It's just a
right.
minute right off the cuff. 13 fucking people between you and me. Can you imagine a room full of 100 fucking people? That's like 1,300 people that,
Right. And then you just like bring in everybody's family that was written down, you know what I mean? And like see how many people that truly affects. Like anybody that knows that person, bring them in that same room. And you just take a picture and you just say, like, this is, Eddie Lowry, he likes to say, like, don't pass the pain. You might have been in a lot of pain, and you decided, that tonight was your night, but you left that pain with me. You left that pain with Pam and your family, her family, their family, his. Everybody has to deal with that. And then it's not like a blaming thing, but it's something to be conscious of. Like don't pass that pain. Like we would rather Just like you said, like I got a friend that, oh, she calls, I answer. That's it. Like I would rather answer
Hmm.
your phone call at 4 in the morning than drive to Oklahoma and carry your casket to your final resting place. While I am honored that I got to do that for our brother with our platoon, like six of us got to carry him to his final resting place. I think that was pretty special, but I don't ever want to fucking do it again.
No. So I'm going to do the math real fast. 13 times 5 average. Because my quick math obviously didn't add up right. So if I had 10 people in one room, based on what you and I just did, that's 65 people we would know that committed suicide. If we get 100, that's 6,500 people. A group of a one room full of 100 people, potentially we know 6,500 people that have off themselves. That is scary. That is scary. Divided by, ugh, too much math. My calculator's putting decimals in there. I don't want to do that. Either
Right.
way, my point is
Oh,
that's just wild. That's just wild. I don't know.
yeah.
What are your thoughts? I just pulled that out of my ass before we jumped on. I'm like, you know what I want to do? And
Yeah,
then just
no, I
started
mean
thinking between my fucking
that
eyes.
was, I guess that was my thoughts to what I said, just like how, don't it just made me think like don't pass that pain along, like there are people out there, I'm one of them, you're one of them. You can message Veteran Chat Project at any given point in time, and I will get back to it. And I'm sure 2,200 taps same way. You just say, hey, I just need someone to chat with, and doesn't make me feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, like I'll do that 100% of the time. I'd like to in the future get to Veteran Chat Project to where it's like I have a chapter in every state where it's like, hey, like, in a situation that happened the other day, like we got like a crisis reaction brigade. Hey, we got someone that needs someone to pick them up and take them to a baseball game or take them
Hmm.
to whatever, here's the company, I'll send you tickets or however it works, you know, like a like a nonprofit sort of situation,
Yeah.
but like a battle buddy system, like a network, like a tribe. But obviously that's huge dreams. Takes a lot to get there, but we all pull together, we can be that network.
Yeah, we can. And on the flip side, to think that we could help save one life with what we do, just one, we have the potential to impact 6 or 7 people based on
Ooh,
this
yeah.
number. So what we do does matter. And it's true. If we could help just one person, then we've helped multiple, a shit ton. Damn, where's Oprah when I need her? I feel like that was a
Right.
good little moment.
Uh-oh.
Fuck Oprah. How
Oprah ain't
about
got
Dr.
shit on
Phil? Do
us.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, you got to do the Dr. Phil voice. Like, where's my AI Dr. Phil voice when I need him?
Oh my God. Nah, they're all doing
Like,
big
I got
things,
one right
including
here.
Oprah.
Hanging.
No. Well,
That is not the father.
I thank you for carving out time for me today. I think it
Yeah, hell
was
yeah.
pretty damn good, and always love talking to you. I really, really do, and thank you for what you're doing in this mission and keeping it going. Really, really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
the mission drives on. Like whether it's going to be, I do have some plans. It's going to be some in between the longer interview episodes. I'm going to drop some 15-20 minute episodes just based off of just hit one subject. I do currently recording an episode that's covering basically complacency, how complacency kills in the military, how it kills
Hmm.
overseas, and how most importantly it comes back to get us when we get out of the military. We let go of ourselves, we let go of the things that we hold dear, our core values, all that shit. Like I think KZ said one time, like you were issued if anything, you leave the military with nothing. Just remember, like you were issued core values, and they can't take that from you.
Mm,
I
I love
mean,
that.
nobody else have those. Not a lot of people have core values. They don't know who they are. So they're
Yeah,
going to try to shake your beliefs in who you are, and you can't fucking let them do that. So you're going to doubt yourself every step of the way, probably. You
yeah,
don't fucking need anybody else in there telling you bad shit. Find people like us we'll fucking I might tell you some bad shit, but I'm gonna tell you how we can get out of it together.
That's a key, man. Like, let's hook arms and go.
Yep.
I'm not
Jump
gonna keep
in.
you there. Yeah, let's go.
Jump under this wing, little bear. I got you. You're under this umbrella of
Only if you let
people, you
us.
know.
Only if you let us. But Kyle, thank you again. I really, really, truly appreciate you carving out this time. And anything you want to share real quick before we jump off about your mission or you, or we pretty solid?
No, just I mean, just as you're not alone, you know, find your tribe and fucking that's it, really. I hear my kids crying upstairs, so I need to go
That's
help
good
out my platoon.
timing.
I was like, I
See,
knew it was like it's gonna be soon. I
present
know if I
dad.
heard the
He is a
youngest, he's like,
present dad.
"Meh." Well, yep,
Oh
he's
my
hungry.
gosh.
I'm gonna go make some dinner.
I love that. Well, hold
I
tight.
still
I'm gonna
get
sign.
to put them culinary skills to use.
There you go. Well, hang tight. I'm gonna sign off with my listeners, but hang tight. We'll sign off after. Cool. All right, guys. Well, there you had it. Kyle Turner, Veteran Chat Project. You can find him on all major streaming platforms, all that good stuff, Facebook. And get connected, man, because you're worth it. And we love you. So stay tuned. We got another great guest lined up coming up. And yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff that makes you YouTube famous. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Please.
All right.